Well, our film on Central tomorrow afternoon is a Disney favourite. David Niven stars in Candle Shoes starting at 1:30.
Head for the stars for action and adventure in deeper space, Disney style.
It's all right. The black hole.
The deepest, darkest battleground.
Fire thrusters.
A terrifying fight against a mad scientist lost in space. Friday Star Wars at 6:30 on Central. The Black Hole.
As with many things in this life, grace and beauty on the surface often belie the activity beneath. The 1989 Vauxhall Senator, engineered for unruffled grace.
This is one get-together you won't forget.
Feminist, weirdo, virgin. Who told you that? Everybody.
They're just a bunch of crazy, mixed-up weirdos, nymphomaniacs, Satanists, and vampires.
What a great bunch of kids.
National Lampoon's Class Reunion. Thursday madness at midnight on Central.
In a few minutes, the latest on what's been happening at the Albert Memorial in the Young Doctors. That's after the afternoon headlines from the Central News team.
Good afternoon. First, today's main stories. 5 more men and a woman have appeared in court charged with stealing parts of the crashed Pan Am jet. A hospital porter, Edward Wadley, has been remanded in custody in London on terrorist charges. There's been a triple shooting in Leominster in Herefordshire. A man killed his estranged wife and seriously injured his father-in-law before turning the gun on himself.
The triple shooting happened here on a quiet housing estate just off the A44 into mid-Wales. The house belongs to Mr. and Mrs. Derek Davies, but their 29-year-old daughter Dawn Lewis was also living here after the breakup of her marriage in November. Police believe her husband Robert shot both his wife and his father-in-law with a 12-bore double-barreled shotgun before turning the gun on himself. Despite severe leg injuries, Mr. Davies managed to crawl downstairs and call the police. When they arrived, they found the bodies of Mr. and Mrs. Lewis upstairs. Mr. Davies was rushed to hospital in Hereford, where he had his right leg amputated above the knee. His wife, who was out at the time of the shooting, accompanied him to hospital. Today, neighbours are shocked and bewildered by what's happened.
We're just horrified, shattered.
Police say that they're not looking for anyone else in connection with the triple shooting.
A man is still being questioned about the death of Roy Kucharski, who died in a police cell in Redditch. Mr. Kucharski had spent part of Christmas Eve at the Unicorn pub in Redditch. He was arrested for being drunk and incapable. At the police station, a surgeon passed him fit to be locked up, but he died an hour later from internal injuries. Detectives are trying to trace a man who told police he'd seen Mr. Kucharski in bushes close to the Unicorn. The Coventry City footballer Brian Kilcline has been banned from driving after admitting a drink-drive charge. Kilcline was stopped 2 weeks before Christmas. A breath test proved he'd drunk twice the legal alcohol limit. He was banned from driving for 18 months and fined £260. He lost the captaincy of Coventry City the day after he was stopped. Charities in the region are reporting the first casualties of Christmas. The Samaritans and marriage guidance counsellors say they're meeting large numbers of families facing a breakup as the pressures of Christmas come to a head.
It's a time of great expectation. People look forward to Christmas. They have spent a lot of money usually. They've put in a lot of extra work, so they're particularly tired too. And yet they expect it to be marvellous. It's a time of peace and goodwill. And by contrast, if the family are fractious, tired, if rows happen, they might normally take those in their stride at any other time of year, but at Christmas, by contrast to how they want it to be, it feels so much worse.
Miners have been warned that industrial relations must improve next year and that privatisation of the electricity industry is the biggest challenge. The warnings come from the chairman of British Coal, Sir Robert Haslam, who says there must also be improved productivity and maintained safety standards. He's warned that aggressive attitudes in some coalfields must end. The Jaguar Car Company has announced record production figures for 1988. Next year, the Coventry firm will aim for new markets to make up for lost income in the United States.
This was the first year the firm made more than 50,000 cars. The production total was up 8% to almost 52,000. There were higher sales in Britain and Europe, but the company is now seeking ways of countering the fall in sales in the States. Over the next 12 months, the target for the sales team will be the Far East. Already, Jaguar's convinced it can increase sales in Japan and Taiwan, and the firm's close to a deal to introduce its cars into South Korea, where import restrictions have just been lifted. The company says there could be scope for sales in other countries in Southeast Asia and South America. The long-term aim is to break into the Chinese market.
And now a look at the weather. It will be dry this afternoon with mist and fog patches clearing slowly. Tonight should remain dry with the minimum temperature 3 degrees Celsius, that's 37 Fahrenheit. And that's all for now. We're back with Central News tonight at 6 o'clock.
Watch out for The Bill. Thursdays at 8 on Central, the original Beat Club is back on the streets. Facing up to the big city blues with the gentle human touch. On the beat or behind the scenes, this is the station to watch. So don't miss Thursday's Beat for The Bill.
Action-packed entertainment for the new year on Central. Friday at 6:30, look out, we're heading straight for the black hole. No, not that black hole, that's it, the black hole. Robots, spacemen and a real intergalactic shootout. No, not that shootout, that's New Year's Eve at 5:25. Herbie goes to Monte Carlo. That's not Monte Carlo.
Trust me.
Why? It's Raiders of the Lost Ark, holiday Monday at 9. I'm exhausted just watching. New Year's entertainment on Central. I can't even lie down.
Make a note that 12:30 on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesdays is the new time for a country practice continuing next week. Continuing now, The Young Doctors.